Breaking news, according to Sham. Billy Donovan stepped down as the head coach of the Chicago Bulls after 6 seasons. The Bulls made clear that the organization wanted Donovan back after making sweeping changes to their front office, but Donovan held an option in his contract for next season and elected to step down after extensive meetings with team ownership in the last week, sources said. Donovan determined he wanted to give the team a clean break. Gotta be honest, Wilbon. Ann Perk is back here with us. I don't know that I am shocked by this news. What's your reaction?
Not shocked. I didn't understand why the Bulls, first of all, I don't understand why the Bulls have made any of the decisions they've made in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, you look at the playoffs right now, and you see Ayo Dosunmu in this starring support role for Minnesota, and you gave him away for a ham sandwich. You know, you look at Denny Avdia. You look at him, and the Bulls were prepared to take him. Should have taken him. The scouts said, take him. No, we're going to take Patrick Williams, and we're going to double down on a dumb draft decision by giving him $95 million a few years later. So they've made one stupid decision after another, which had nothing to do really with Billy Donovan. I mean, I think I have liked Billy Donovan as coach, but it seemed, Shay, and we are Chicagoans. We follow this team closely. Time had just come and gone for Billy. I don't know that he was making any difference that was positive. Again, I am not putting the blame on Billy Donovan for that series of personnel decisions and what the Bulls are facing in that. That AK made those decisions, Karnisovas, and was fired as a result and should have been. Now we deal with the Billy Donovan of it all, which is sort of separate.
Yeah.
Was Billy going to make a difference? How was he going to make a difference with this next set of players? We don't even know where they're going. We have no idea. What are the Bulls on, a 5-year plan? So Billy Donovan's been there 6 years. He's going to have 5 more before they're competitive. 11-year plan for Billy Donovan? No, I didn't understand why he was staying, why the Bulls didn't make a clean break from all of this a few weeks ago when Karnisovas was fired.
By the way, Billy Donovan and the Bulls finished above 500 one time. It was the 2021-2022 season, the only time they went to the playoffs in his 6-year tenure. Your thoughts?
He should have been sprinting from that organization. Real talk. Let's keep it real. The Chicago Bulls have been one of the biggest disappointments in the NBA. When you talk about when we talk about history, when we talk about big markets, when we talk about historic franchises, this is a team that has been dysfunctional all across the board. Like, they don't know if they're going or coming. They don't know who their leader are. They don't know who their franchise guy are. They gave up on Kobe White. They gave up on Ayo. He's balling, like you said, for Minnesota. What are y'all doing? Every single season is no in between. Right? It's either you're trying to rebuild or you trying to go for it all. But it seemed like with the Bulls, every single year, they're in the middle. And we got to start holding them to the same level that we hold the Boston Celtics to, the Los Angeles Lakers to. It's about championships. And I believe that the fan base, and y'all can tell me, y'all frustrated at this point.
Like, why, Perk, it's the first sustained period of irrelevance.
Yes.
When I was a kid and played this card, the Bulls were relevant. They didn't win, but they were 50-win-plus teams. They would lose. They couldn't beat Kareem and the Bucks. They couldn't beat the Lakers when the Bulls were in the Western Conference. Yes, boys and girls, the Bulls were in the Western Conference. And they couldn't bump through that ceiling. But they were never irrelevant. Then you had, of course, the Jordan years, where they're the opposite of that. They are the most relevant franchise maybe in any sport in the world. Then even you go through a few lean years, but you get Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose, yeah.
And it looks like, oh, my God, this, again, you've got relevance. You've got a young star who's an MVP at 21 years old. Mm-hmm. Derrick, of course, gets hurt. And since then, it's just been
we were in
the wilderness.
LeBron sweepstakes.
It was, but they were in there against LeBron. There was a series in the conference finals against the Miami Heat and LeBron James. And if Derrick Rose is healthy, we play that game all the time. But now, the last 5 years, as you've mentioned, there was that moment with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and
Larry Market
and Ball and where it looked like, whoa, wait a minute, they were the 1 seed before Ball got hurt, which was amazing. And so we've come out of that, and now they have just been irrelevant, turning down draft picks at a time where they should have been looking at this rebuild 3, 4, 5 years earlier. How about Caruso could have gone to Oklahoma City for 2 first-round picks?
Right.
They said no. Again, that's not on Billy Donovan, but it seems like there were places where guys were developing. Kobe White. And there were players you looked at, you said, okay, that's the mark of Billy Donovan. His time in college, understanding how to bring young players along, meaning, 2 national championships in Florida, and he had that. But lately, it has just been despair, and they are as irrelevant as any big market team in sports.
Like, trade deadlines have come and gone, drafts have come and gone, and I don't know how you feel. I just sit there like, the Bulls aren't going to do anything. Like, this whole Giannis discussion, like, they're now, albeit I know he has kind of pinpointed some cities, but Giannis supposedly had been walking around Chicago. You think anyone thought Giannis was going to Chicago?
No,
like, there's never been a free agent, a big fish that we feel like, meaning Chicagoans, feel like, they might want. Never. We've completely fallen off the boat in terms of that. Who's recruiting them? Who's wanting them to go? There's no positive because it's just been in this no man's land.
So the next hire, Shay, is not the most important hire, isn't the coach. And that will be important. The hire is who's going to run this thing.
100%.
Right.
Well, and so that's another place where, the Bulls have not had a big swing.
Yeah.
It's time to have one.
Wait a minute. The Bulls have not won a playoff series, by the way, since 2014 when Tom Thibodeau was the head coach. Both the Knicks and Nuggets lost crucial Game 2s at home. Which loss, though, was more detrimental for their respective series? Also, should Steph Curry leave the Warriors to attempt to win a title elsewhere? You don't want to miss what Big Perk goes to say about this.
17 games. That is not a huge sample size. And he missed it with real injuries. Those are real injuries. I would say this. The Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson conversation, that's a real one. Tate, not a Blazer, but unbelievable and a true performer. Never number 1 at Ohio State. And that's because Jeremiah Smith was on the other side. Jordan Tyson has all those qualities of he could potentially be one of the top guys. Mekhi Lemon won the Biletnikoff, tough as nails compared to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's 5'11". Tyson has the build, the tape, and the actual production. It's just the injury history. So to your point, yes, you can take another wide receiver, but if he does stay healthy, and that was just coincidence or it was just unfortunate luck that he had those 3 separate injuries, you might be kicking yourself that you took someone else over him who has a total package.
But the Giants have had injury issues on the offensive side of the ball. They also need some big help, especially after the Dexter Lawrence trade. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You want to really risk that again. For you, most intriguing player?
Jeremiah Love, for a lot of reasons. One, the talent alone. But we have entered this space and time where the league has said, even though there's a bounce back the last few years, the league has said, we don't know if there's that value. And I'm like, when people use the word weapon, because he seems to be as good a receiver as you can find at that position and as good as some receivers. Speaking of, we just talked about with the receivers being B+. Jordan Love, if you're a franchise like the Arizona Cardinals, and it's not just strategic decision you're making in the draft,